Boundaries were a very difficult thing for me to set up and enforce on people in recovery. My name is Mike. I'm a recovering alcoholic and addict. I'm also a musician. I am not a licensed therapist. I'm not a drug and alcohol counselor. I have gone through the ringer quite a few times. I just want to share my story. If you are dealing with drugs and alcohol or battling any type of depression, then my story might benefit you. When I first started trying to get sober, I was telling an individual who was helping me out about how certain family members could just say whatever they want and I didn't do anything about it. And he looked at me and said, "You need to start setting boundaries." Keep in mind, I was around 28 years old and I never heard of what a boundary was. I did not know what, setting a boundary was. I didn't know anything about how to. Up to that point, if a family member had something nasty or rude to say, I just kind of smiled, and when they were gone, I just bitch and moan about it. I thought that people who didn't understand my situation and they said things that were just really messed up, I felt I had to keep an open mind and let them say what they had to say. I couldn't believe that I can tell somebody, "Hey, if you continue this behavior, I'm not going to be around you." I could not wrap my brain around the idea that I can sit there and tell somebody, "Hey, I wish to be treated this way. If you can't treat me this way, then you can go F off." I did not know I had that right. It took a while for me to wrap my brain around that one. Once I did, and it was time to put it in practice because I had a lot of people in my life where I had to make it clear to them, "Hey, you don't do that." It took practice. Very uncomfortable feeling. And I set boundaries with people everywhere from work, friends, enforcing boundaries. I've had to cut people loose out of my life because they didn't respect boundaries. One of the things I've had to deal with through the years as a musician, there have been family members who just would make nasty comments like, "As long as I don't have to support you," when you don't even ask the motherfucker for a damn dime ever, but they have to have something rude to say. Some people like that, where you hardly talk to the individual and they have something nasty to say. Some people just don't deserve boundaries. They just need to go away. They don't need to be in your life. When I went into rehab, I was told that I was pretty aggressive about setting boundaries at times. There were times where, setting boundaries with me is I could get passive aggressive about it, where if somebody's just being a jackass, I just ignore them. Just let them be a jackass, and then they get pissed I'm ignoring them, or, I make a snide remark about what they're saying, you know, hoping that they'd just leave me the fuck alone. I don't recommend it, but sometimes people just put you in that situation to where you have to put that boundary up. I don't know what it's like for you. I don't know what it's like for other people, but for this alcoholic and addict, keeping your peace and your self-worth has its own currency that all the other currencies that life brings really have no meaning unless those are most important. And that can be really rough, but it's important to do that. So if you're new, you really might want to look into boundaries, and there's going to wind up being a whole set of people where you're going to have to sit them down and say, "Hey, You treated me this way before, and that shit stops. If you continue to do that, then I'm gonna have to do this, and this, and you have to stick to it. I hope I was some help. I hope I didn't talk in circles too much. Please like and subscribe. That tells me if I should make more of this. All right, thank you, and God bless.